next, we have Mr. Kumar Divesh, who will be speaking on the talent mix that the startups get in the initial stages and how to manage it. Mr. Kumar Devesh comes with over 10 years of experience in HR. During this experience, he has provided consultation to multiple firms in drafting policies, delivered motivational speeches and trainings, and provided counseling to people. Right from heading the global recruitment to managing training to driving sales to now heading a global HR, he has worn multiple hats and successfully delivered in all of them. Uh, with his aim to impart knowledge and helping others, he started a firm named Solidarity, and that is an HR consulting firm dealing with policy information, training, motivational talks, and mental wellness of the employees within a company, and specialized in driving a low performing team or employees to be star performers. So I'd like to call upon Mr. Kumar Devesh to talk on the subject of HR. Thank you.
A splendid Saturday morning to everyone. Thank you so much, Amit. It was really a wonderful information after Anshumali ji started the session. So I'll probably try to talk a little bit about what exactly talent acquisition, especially in changing demographics, and we'll try to connect with the startup session as to how exactly it can be done. Even before we start, a couple of questions to everyone. How many of you had, at some point of time, tasted Agra ka petha? Okay, that's nice. I'm pretty sure almost everyone would have attended marriage ceremonies at some point of time. Okay, wonderful. Do you remember those Kolhapuri chappals? Okay. How many of you have? Had. Okay. Good. There was a time, if you remember, there's a city in UP, Kanpur, which was pretty famous for leather products. Did any of you present over here tried at some point of time? No? Okay. How about, especially a good question to ladies, and even better question to males as well, who would have gifted at some point of time Banarsi saris. Have you tried? Good. So if we are talking about these things, we have actually come to a stage where we don't have to rely or don't have to depend on those cities to get the products where you are. You can still get Banarsi saris sitting in Delhi or Bangalore or Hyderabad or anywhere in India. Similar is the case with petha as well. Agra ka petha can be bought anywhere. And fortunately or unfortunately, Hyderabadi biryanis are tasted in all the other cities more as compared to what Hyderabad would be tasting. I mean, that's the beauty that we are talking about in today's date, and that's how startups come into picture. I mean, you talk about, I'm more of a foodie, so I'll probably end up giving more examples of all the eateries. So you can find Zomato or Mr. Needs, who has recently come up, or Swiggy for that matter, who actually delivers food. So if you have used these apps, we are talking about these stuffs in today's date. And that's how you have to change the technology and you have to change the talent as well. Okay, so you'll have to help me. Okay, there it is. So if we talk about changing talent demographics, I remember when I had started my professional career as a recruiter, shy, sitting in a corner, who was not able to pick up the phone and talk to people. I actually used to wait so that my team members, when go out for lunch, then I'll pick up the phone and talk to candidates. That is what I used to do. So I remember my boss used to tell me, I was in Bangalore at that point of time, and my boss used to tell me, if you have to hire people, be rest assured that you are only hiring South Indians. At that point of time, I heard that great divide, I mean, even bigger than the Great Wall of China. But that is the great divide that I had actually seen. So if you have to hire talents in Bangalore, you have to hire South Indians, especially from Karnataka. Things changed 6 months, 7 months, or maybe a year down the line. I was told you can actually go ahead and hire people from Bangalore, Hyderabad, or Chennai, but nowhere else. Again, time changed. 1 year down the line, I was told you can hire people from anywhere in India, provided they are ready to relocate. And similar is the case in today's date. The world is shrinking. When the world is shrinking, we are talking about talent which can be found anywhere across the globe and is ready to work for you. Time has changed. And so is the case in talent as well. Let's take a couple of examples. We have evolved. I mean, right from moving around on all the 4 foots to not even looking in front of us and looking at the mobile phones. This is where we are in today's date. Change, if we say, then I'll basically term that as evolution. We started with this person, I mean this thing actually delivering all the letters for us, and then came this, finally here, and we are now in this stage. So if situations are changing, if we are evolving from a pigeon to a smartphone, our thought process has to evolve as well. And from HR's perspective, yes, it has to. Let's try and understand the population mix that we are talking about today. If we are talking about, and the reason I emphasize more here, and this is something which I don't say, there's a survey that was done in June 2016, and the results are in front of you. We are talking about an audience which has more than 40% aged between 25 to 54 years. Surprised why am I talking about the age mix? Anyone? Any reason as to why will I be talking about this? No? Okay. That's right. These are the candidates whom we actually go ahead and target. So if we actually look in today's date, we are targeting majority of the audience between those 40% mark. But not to forget that the rest 17%, which is aged between 15 to 24 years, is ready to come to the market. And there comes the big mix. We are talking about the baby boomers, we are talking about the Gen X, Y, and Z is approaching. And comes the startup. The mix basically will be focusing on how exactly the thought process will be. There was a time, I mean, Amit also mentioned, and we had 1 or 2 more questions revolving around the same. When earlier startups used to start, people used to talk about it when they had 5, 10, or 15 years of experience. Now we are talking about people who, as Amit rightly said, were managing pocket monies, and now they are managing crores. So if that's the case, can we actually go ahead and hire talent according to their mindset? Is something that comes in. I do remember in state where I was consulting for a company, and the company had as many as 45 people. They had hired, and they had a problem with delivery. It was a technology firm, they had a problem with delivery. And when I actually looked at the mix of how exactly it was happening, they had as high as 57% of the salary going to managers and above. And if I twist the tail, they had 17% going into pre-sales, few in graphics, and only 23% were actually those who were delivering the products that they were working on. And the surprise was that they were struggling and they didn't notice this. If with that mindset you actually go ahead and start, will you be able to function is something that you have to think. I mean, I personally treat startups as a family, as a relation that you start. And when you talk about family, can you actually go ahead and manage your family in that particular way? If you can, then yes, you can manage startups as well. If you cannot, then you can't. Again, the example came. So I have a very weird example that I actually noted. I was reading somewhere that in Mumbai in 2014, we had 11,667 divorce cases filed, as compared to 5,245 in 2010. Again, surprised why I'm talking about marriage? Anyone? Yeah, please, sir.
Suppression of talent in startup or the getting down in business in startup.
Perfect. So I personally feel marriage is a relationship, and so is the case when a talent comes to any organization. It's more of thoughts. It's more of adding to the thoughts, to the vision, to the mission of the organization. And that is why I took this example. So when marriages can fail in today's date, in a matter of 5 years, you see a rise of more than 350% of divorce cases being filed. If that can happen, then it can happen in startups as well. And why do they fail? Let's try to see. Too much of family getting involved in the relationship of the bride and the groom. Is that the case? Could be. Let's try and understand from the startup perspective. Two people came together, they started the company. When they hired a professional to actually go ahead and do the job for them, and the professional gave the right idea, they will not accept. Why? Because they feel it's their company, they can think better as compared to what the other person can actually tell. And that's exactly what happens in marriages as well. Let's see the next one. The problem of hierarchy. Everyone is a boss. I mean, that is one thing which is pretty common in startups. Everyone is a boss. Till you start, yes, it's good. As Amit said, for the first 6 months, it's good. After that, you have to have a proper hierarchy. If you don't have, then it's a problem. Knock off. Every time a suggestion comes from the bride, the groom knocks it off, or the other way around. And it's exactly what happens in startups as well. Partner A will say this is something that we should do, partner B will not think. And if, God forbid, you have hired an exceptionally brilliant person who can actually guide you to move towards the next level, then you are gone. The problem of Jugaad, as Amit mentioned, that if I have to do something, why should I actually go ahead and take the right approach? I'll take my way or your way, not the right way. And that becomes a problem in marriages as well and in startups as well. And do I know what am I doing? I started for something. Again, quoting Amit's example, I had a vision to reach 10 lakh, then it came to thousands, then hundreds, and finally maybe you'll be counting in units or tens. And that's exactly what happens. Now comes the role of HR. So what do you want to use HR for in any company? And this, unfortunately, always remains to be the Stepney. Is reminded only when you have a flat tire. So why do you use an HR for? Clue? Comments, thoughts, anything? No? Okay, I'll tell. These are a couple of things that we actually ask an HR to do. We hire an HR 1 year down the line in a startup firm. We ask them to write policies, and our beautiful HRs go to Google University, download a couple of policies. Page 1 from company A, page 2 from company B, page 3 from company C, and you have a policy written. But do you remember, do you understand that there are certain rules set for your home as well? You don't set your rules depending on someone else's family or your neighbor's family. I mean, neighbor's envy, owner's pride is something that works only in marketing stuff or in commercials, not here. So if you have to deal with, you have to tie your policies with your vision and mission and then set it for the people. Your vision might be saying that you are a people-oriented company, but if your policy doesn't talk, your employees will not stay. And they will neither join you. I mean, a question that you had asked. as to how we can actually go ahead and sell. If we do have certain policies that talks about and that links with your vision and mission, then you can actually talk about. And at the same time, yes, trust also matters. If you trust your vision, mission, policies, and your future, yes, you can definitely do. Then hiring, records, future progression, motivation, etc. Agra ka petha, if you have to buy, if you still had to go to Agra, then it would have been a unique idea. But the future progression was not there, you can buy it anywhere. Hyderabadi biryani can be sold anywhere. But there was a difference. There is a difference in Banarsi saris. They have evolved because they have transitioned the knowledge to their generations, which others couldn't do. Couple of pain points that startups might face if we are talking about HR perspective. Then there's lack of innovation, which comes in. And this is something, again, which I'm not saying. There are surveys which have been done. And these are a couple of pointers that have been mentioned. Over 90% of the startups fail because of lack of innovation. And rest contribute for the remaining 10%. If we actually look for it, we have more than 4 points that only relate to HR. You don't have an innovative team to think, that's HR. You have lack of skilled force, that's HR. You have inadequate formal mentoring, that's again the headache of HR. And poor business ethics, which in today's date people say that go ahead and groom and instill culture in all the managers and lower crowd in the organization without realizing that culture is something which is top down, not bottom up. So these are a couple of things that we should actually go ahead and focus on, especially if we are talking about HR and startups and if we are trying to link. So good to hire talented crowd, convey your, or convey the message that you want to in terms of your vision, mission, and the thought process. Because if the top 4 fail, then you are failing on the 5th one where Warren Buffett had said that never lose money. And if you forget rule number 2, then relate to rule number 1. What is the current state in terms of innovation if we talk about? India ranks 66th in Global Innovation Index. And the amazing thing is that India had filed 1,423 patents in last 1.5 or 2 years. The number looks big? No. This is the reality. If you are talking about the competitors. India had 1,423, China, Japan, and South Korea have more than 10,000, 20, and even 40,000. This is, again, a pain point. So hiring right is something that can actually help any organization for that matter. 90% of Indian startups fail within first 5 years. So you've sailed through 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, very good. Be aware of the 5th year as well. I mean, I'm not saying sorry. And 77% of the venture capitalists in today's date feel that there's lack of innovation, new technologies, or new business ideas, which is hurting. You can find anywhere. I mean, Amazon, Airbnb, Uber. What we actually do is we find an Ola for Uber. We find Oyo Rooms for Airbnb, and then we go ahead and add a Flipkart to the Amazon. What new we are doing? I don't know. If we do not do, then I'll leave the podium with this before Anshumali or Noor throws me out of the room. I'll leave the room. If we don't innovate, then we are actually following this. There was a hoarding in Mumbai which said we've changed. It's a little bit of an older example, but then I thought to give it here. 10 days later, someone else came and said we made them changed. And if you feel this is good, then there's the third one as well. Someone else came and said we have not changed. We are still the same. And then came the master stroke. There's the 4th one who came and said there's too much of competition. So please come to us. And this is what is required. So I'll leave the podium with this. Think through and keep innovating. That is what I'll say. That's how you will move forward. Be it HR, be it technology, be it any stream you are. Do keep innovating. Do tie your thoughts with your visions, actions, and then tell it to your audience. That is your example. Thank you so much. And all those who missed to clap, I'll thank you so much. Oh yes, he came and reminded there will be many questions.
Contributes maximum to revenue generation. The question is how?
You'll have to think out of the box. I mean, that is something, again, how? So when you go ahead and sell your ideas in a newer way to the audience. I'll give an example. There was a startup, I forgot the name of the company. I was in Gurgaon, I think about 3 years before when I was staying here. I was all alone. There was no one to support cook. I had to be my own cook, and that's when I started learning how to cook. I met a friend and he told there's a beautiful app that takes care of food delivery. And when I actually logged on to it, I was amazed to see that they had more than 20,000 customers using the app on a daily basis, and they had more than 100 cooks using the app to sell the product. So I'll go ahead and answer how. When you actually have an innovative idea, start at a smaller place. Build it in segments. Again, as I said in the beginning, I'm a foodie, so I'll again give another example. There's a beautiful company called Biryani by Kilo. They deliver biryanis. They started off by delivering in Gurgaon. They slowly moved and then started in Delhi and Gurgaon. Then they moved to Delhi NCR. Now they cater to, and now they are planning to go beyond it. So when you have newer ideas, when you have newer thoughts, take baby steps and then move forward. Startup is your own baby. Hold the hand, let it walk, tell how to walk. Let the world know that the kid is walking, and that's when the kid will start running.
Devesh, my question is, as an HR, how do you ensure that your employees spend time in innovation?
So as I said, when you have your policies drafted, which are linked to your vision and mission, you can communicate to your employees in a better way. I cannot go ahead and talk to any employee as an HR if my policy says that I want a person to work for 9 hours in an organization, but my vision says that we offer flexibility to people, and that is what we want to do. So if we have to link that, we can actually go ahead and do. If the policies are tied up with the vision and mission, then we can actually go ahead and talk. And yes, at the same time, you have to motivate as well. I am a firm believer of a manager and a subordinate relationship is always like a parent and a child. If the subordinate grows, the managers will be happy. If the child grows, the parents will be happy. So when you can communicate what you think about their future, they'll definitely trust you. So create your policies which are linked to your vision and mission. Do not go to Google University. Instead, go ahead and draft those policies on your own. At the same time, not to forget that we are dealing with baby boomers to Gen Y. Gen Z is coming. So you cannot go ahead and use the same yardstick for everyone. You have to deal with people. You have to bring in consultants. Gone are the days when India was shying away by branding, or Indian employees were shying away by being called as a consultant. Now they are happy to be called as a consultant. So I'm an HR consultant, someone else will come, will be XYZ consultant, so on and so forth. So tie the policies, you can actually talk well. Any other question? Wonderful. Thank you so much. Before everyone dozes off, I'll move out. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to India's first corporate news channel. We invite interviews, articles, press releases from your organization. Visit our portal www.indianconventions.com. Thank you.